All right, guys, this area out here is called a solarium. Some people call it a porch, some people call it a breezeway. Actually, they're all correct. There was never any glass in those openings behind you. That was always just copper screen. These were all double occupancy rooms. There would have been a bed on either side of each room. And you'll notice that each bed had their own set of doors. And that's because there was no cure for tuberculosis. When they opened this building in 1926, they thought fresh air, sunlight, and good food was going to be a cure. Of course, we know better today, but they didn't know it at that time. They would actually wheel the patient out here onto the solarium to set every single day for a minimum of 13 hours a day.
Ugh.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Now, this was a state-of-the-art hospital when it was built. There was some things used here first time ever in the nation. One of those being electric blankets. This is the very first hospital to use them. It's also the very first hospital where the patient could lay out here for 13 hours a day and hook into headphones here on the wall and listen to one of the local radio stations that played here in the Louisville area. That was the first time in any hospital in the nation as well. Now, when people ask me what have I seen or heard most of on the second floor, without a doubt the answer to that is children. We could not tell you how many times we come up here and walk down this hall and hear kids laughing, singing. Sometimes it sounds like kids are out here at night running back and forth out here on the solarium. I've been giving tours in there when we've heard kids' voices. I've been giving tours when we've heard babies cry right in our little group. Of course, we had no babies with us, and they were very loud. I had a lady call me up here one day that wanted to share an experience that she got the night before. She was in here doing a private investigation with her group of 10, and she was the only one of those 10 that was here on the second floor. And she was carrying around a little handheld recorder, hoping to get an EVP. And she said as she came out of one room and started into the next room, suddenly on her recorder you could hear her go. Well, she said, of course, something scared her. So she turned on her light. She looked all inside the rooms. She looked out here on the solarium. She looked down the main corridor of the building. She didn't see anything anywhere. So she just kind of got it together and, just dismissed this, as being nerves. And she let it go. But the next day, she called me up here to let me hear what she had got on her recorder. And right after, right after you hear her go, you hear a little kid giggle and say, I scared you, I scared you.
Oh,
and we do get that kind of thing all the time. All right, follow me, please.
can we take a picture? I want to take a picture of this hole so bad.
All right, guys, every now and then we'll give a tour, and there'll be somebody on our tour that had a loved one here, friend, family member, someone, and they still share stories with us even still today. I have family history here as well. Both my grandparents worked here at Waverly. My grandfather actually helped build the building in 1924, and then he became a butcher on the inside. My grandmother worked in the laundry room, and that's the large room where you started out tonight. My dad was born and raised here on the property, and at 14 they put him on the payroll, and he began working in the body chute. I was born and raised here as well, and I actually still live in one of the little doctor's houses down on East Pages, so I do have a great passion for this building. But we gave a tour some years ago, and a lady on the tour remembered this room right here belonging to her great aunt. She said she remembered it so clearly because she was only 4 or 5 years old when she came to visit, and her mother used to make a counting game out of the doors so that every time they came, she'd count the doors down. So she remembered this room belonging to her great aunt. Her aunt's name was Lois Higgs, and as you all pass the closet, you can look at her picture here. She actually died in here at a very young age. She was only 28 years old when she passed. But she had a sister here at the very same time. And I'm going to kind of jump to another story really quick. I haven't really told this much this year, kind of a habit, but I told you before that we get a lot of EVPs in this building, and we do. And I had one saved on my phone, and somehow it got deleted, and I hate it that it did, but I can't get a hold of it again. I'm trying to. But we had a lady call me up here one day, and she wanted me to hear an EVP that she got in the building the weekend prior when she was doing an investigation. So she played it for me, and she let me hear it, and it was just simply a voice, and it whispered, Audrey.
So what?
Audrey. So, it's very clear, very plain. So I talked to the lady, and I got some information from her and found, I asked her, where did you get it? And she said, I don't remember where I was at in that building. The only thing I can remember about it, it's in that room where you had the lady's photograph hanging, which of course was right here. Then it dawned on me. I knew why that name was so familiar. I told you that Audrey died in this room, but her sister lived. You know what her name was? Audrey. Certainly was. And that's not just a story, guys. This is the truth. All right, I'm going to have everyone step in here and move all the way to the back for me, please.